All right. All right. Good evening again, everyone. Welcome to Module 5. We are just about halfway done with our FFL program. So how's everybody feeling? You can put it in the chat. How you feeling that we're halfway done? It went fast, didn't it? I'm going to share my screen. Okay. We got a couple of people in the chat. Ashley Manny said yes. Danielle said feeling good. Thank you so much. All right. So today, welcome. Welcome everyone. So we're going to start off with a quote. This is a quote that I got from, this is from Alice Walker. And she says the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Kind of like that quote, because basically sometimes as individuals, we think we don't have any power, right? And sometimes the perception of us not having power comes from society. It can come from past experiences. It can come from this self-doubt, negative thoughts. But the quote, it encourages us to recognize that our power is within us. And we have the ability to influence, your life and your circumstances. So we can acknowledge and embrace this power. When we do that, we can overcome obstacles. We can advocate for ourselves. We can create positive change for us, for our family, and for the community. So just knowing that we all have power, and that's what this module is going to be about, our power. So someone else gave me a quote. Is Tynetta here today? Is Tynetta on here?
Yes.
Tynetta, you want to talk about this quote you gave me? Did you give me this quote?
Yes, my quote is "There's so limited to what we as women can accomplish." It was Michelle Obama, and I just feel like it's just a quote, just to kind of. I'm sorry, I'm driving. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's okay. We hear you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that we can kind of, accomplish anything that we put our mind to, and we don't have any limits to what we want to achieve.
Thank you. I think that is an awesome quote, and it definitely resonates with what we're going to talk about today in our power. Okay. Now, I looked in the chat, and Mercy says she feels a little overwhelmed. Well, Mercy, we don't want you to feel overwhelmed. If you like, we can talk offline if you like. You can send me a private message if you would like to talk offline, because we don't want you to feel overwhelmed, right? We want you to be okay. So if you want to talk offline, let me know. Okay. All right. So again, I'm going to introduce, our facilitators are going to introduce themselves. We all know who they are.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Pointer. I know y'all missed me last week.
We missed you,
guys. I am a co-facilitator and also an adult clinician at Odyssey Family Counseling Center.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Pam Ross, and I'm with United Way. I'm one of the coaches. I'm sorry I'm not on camera yet. I'm trying to get myself together. Been working all day. A little tired here, but welcome again to session 5.
Thank you, Pam.
Hey everyone, I am Tani Weatherspoon, and I'm with United Way also. I am driving home, just like whoever was speaking earlier. I'm sorry I missed your name. We are both on the road together, and I'll be home looking at you guys in just a few moments.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so again, we've talked about this before. If for some reason you have to miss a session, just shoot me a quick email. If you're on the reminder app, let me know. I've had a couple of people to email me and say they couldn't make it for whatever reason, so I can send you the video so you can complete your feedback survey form. Today we got a jam-packed day. So we are going to do our warm-up activity, and that is to look up our homework, our ages and stages homework activity. We're going to briefly check in on the SWOT SMART goals for the 3-month vision. I got some awesome feedback. I got some of you all gave me some of your homework I want to share today. We're going to identify our supports networks that can help us to make progress toward our goals. We're going to explore and learn issues of power and how they affect our advocacy on behalf of our children, ourselves, and our community. We're going to do complete the circle of support around your 3-month vision and SMART goal. That's going to be for your homework. And to think about your power relationships and how you can share power. So it's a jam-packed evening today. Again, we're on session 5, module 5. So we have 4 more to go. And I will let Danielle talk about the community agreements. I will let Gabrielle talk about the community agreements.
Hello, hello. Excuse me, y'all, if y'all see me scratching my ear and my nose. I don't know about y'all, but that pollen has been pollinating. So excuse me. Community agreements. Keeping confidentiality. That just means keeping what we have in the session, within the people that are participating in the session. Ask questions. Let's participate. No question is a dumb question. So please raise your hand or put in the chat what questions that you have. Even if you don't feel comfortable putting the question, even if you don't feel comfortable putting the question so everybody can see, send the question to me. Send the question to Pam, or well, actually, it'll be better to send it to me because I'm kind of taking notes. But yeah, send me a question if you have a question that you don't feel comfortable asking everyone, and then we can be back and forth. Put yourself on mute when you're not speaking. Some people are driving, some people have TVs playing in the background, things like that. If you off mute, we can kind of get some of that background noise, so it won't be so distraction. If you're not talking, please have your mic on mute. Like I just said, if you want to raise your hand, if you want to ask a question, use the emoji to raise your hand. There's also other gestures that you can use. If you like what somebody's saying, you can give the clap, you can give the heart, give an encouragement. That also can help encourage people to feel more inclined to participate, to speak up, things like that. Take space and make space. Give other people a chance to talk. If you feel like if you've answered 70% of the questions, maybe encourage someone else to talk or ask for other input. Like, hey, this is how I feel. What do other people feel? How do other people think? Come with an open mind to learn. This is something that helps everyone. When you come into a session, be open to learn something new, be open to take something away, and be open to share what you've learned here with someone else. Judgment-free zone. Just like I said, a lot of times people don't want to ask questions because they feel like they're going to get judged, but that's not what we do here. We're a judgment-free zone, so no question is a bad question. So let's perpetuate that throughout all the classes. Be flexible and ready to compromise. If you are distracted in your living room, maybe go to the porch or go to the bedroom or something so you can give this lesson your undivided attention. You know, we always have follow-up questions. You know, we always have surveys. So just to give your best opinion, your best educated answer, be in a space where you can concentrate and take in everything you need to take in. Be respectful. If you don't want nobody doing anything negative to you, you shouldn't be doing anything negative to you. Let's respect others. Let's be kind. Let's be encouraging. Tell the truth. You can tell the truth without being disrespectful. A lot of people feel like they can't do that. There's ways that you can be respectful and tell the truth. Be empathetic. Being empathetic is when you put yourself in other people's shoes, understanding how they feel, just like, you know, understanding how people can be shy and nervous to ask questions. That's being empathetic and knowing that, hey guys, would you like to give input? Would you like to add something? Things like that. Would anybody like to add any community agreements or give an opinion about a community agreement that we already have? Chat. Alrighty, those are our community agreements. If you have any community agreements you want to add or that you want to send to me personally, I will be in the chat looking.
All right. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. Okay. So we've seen this quite a few times, right? These are the 5 protective factors. And so my question is, what protective factors have you all used this week? What protective factors have you used this week? You can either write it in the chat or you can come off mute. What protective factors have you used this week? I'll give you about a minute. Have we used any? Oh, we got somebody in the chat. Danielle says social connections. Okay. Anybody else?
I used parenting, knowledge of, what is it? Knowledge of parenting and child development.
Yes. Okay. How did you do that, Tani?
Talking. In order to talk to my granddaughter's parents about some of her challenges, I have to make sure that she has autism. So I read about what I want to talk about with them so that I can be more knowledgeable about, because I'm very concerned about her diet, and believe that if her diet can be improved, they may see better results from her behavior and how she is as a person. So I've been reading up a lot about nutrition and how it impacts children who are neurodivergent, and sharing that with the parents.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Mercy says social connections and social and emotional competence of children. Would Danielle or Mercy like to kind of expound a little bit on the protective factor that you used this week?
I don't mind.
Okay, thank you.
For social connections, a couple of weeks ago, there was an event at my son's school where I actually got a chance to meet several different parents, whether they were in his class or a different class. And today, Saturday, and last Wednesday, I actually got a chance to connect with a couple of the parents that I met and get out of the house and just not be someone's mom, but just be myself for a little while. And have to talk about what was going on at home as far as being a parent, but also just being a woman talking to other women about female stuff. So that was great. The connection. And then for the social and emotional competence of children, so my son's father and I live in separate houses, and for the last 2 weeks, we've had a where he's not done what he said he's going to do in regards to picking my son up, or kind of just flaking out on him. And when that happens, instead of my son vocalizing his frustration or his sadness, it comes out in physical behavior, or him becoming withdrawal from what's going on around him. So that comes with me giving him open-ended questions to kind of draw him out, to help him talk about what he's feeling and dealing with, because his feelings are valid, but he needs to know that I'm not going to judge him. It's not going to go back to anyone else. Feel free
Right.
to acknowledge that you're upset or you're disappointed, and we can talk about that.
That's amazing. That is great. Thank you so much for that.
Great job, Mom. That's
That
some good
was good. Yeah, it
man,
was.
that's some gold star stuff right there.
Right. Danielle, did you want to share?
Sure.
Oh,
For
okay.
social connections, a friend of mine, we were talking about how fatigued we are just with all the hats and all the things. So we took a day, like an overnight trip down to Savannah. So we were able to disconnect. We had a nice talk on the ride there and back. We did some fun things there and just was able to kind of take all those hats off, just be, our first names for that time being, and come on back. And I feel like it did wonders for both of us. We were refreshed. We were ready to, hit the ground running with all the things that we were
All the things.
we were coming back
I
to.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. All the things. Okay. Ashley Manning says the protective factors she used this week were concrete support and social emotional competence of children. Ashley, would you like to expound a little bit?
Yes. So I grew up with a village, and everywhere I've lived, after leaving home, I found a village. It was really important once I started having children that I created a village for them as well. So I know that sometimes as a mom of boys, they need some assistance outside of me. I can do the social emotional, and I'm a nutritionist. I do all these things and I help a lot of people, but sometimes your children need something outside of you. So I reached out to our network, people that are trustworthy, and one particular son who he respects and listens to. And I'm like, hey, I need your support because this and this and this. And it was no problem. Okay, cool. They called him up and it's like, hey, it's time for a meeting. And they took them to they have a spot, and they had a conversation. Nothing crazy, just hey, what's going on? How can we help? And he came back home and he was relaxed. Um, and that also leads into him communicating. I talk to my sons about communicating effectively almost every day. And, once again, mom, sometimes they don't want to do that. So reaching out
Yeah.
for that. And now, my two sons at home, they are able to express themselves. So the past couple of weeks, I've really been honing in on that. Hey, if you're having these issues, even with my youngest, he's in 3rd grade, and he's learning a lot of things that we don't do at home, and no 3rd grader should know about, but a lot of his peers have free reign about everything. And so I'm having to communicate like, hey, this is not a snitch. That's not this. If you're feeling uncomfortable, you need to express yourself. If you like that particular teacher, go to this other teacher and kind of whisper in her ear. She's going to keep it confidential. So that's helped my youngest be able to articulate himself and feel, empowered without someone saying, oh, he told. So those are some things that I've been working on with my sons.
Awesome examples. I'm so glad that you guys are using these protective factors throughout your week. Thank you all so much. Okay. All right. So remember we talked about the ages and stages last time. We went through the 4 stage developments: infants and babies, toddlers and preschoolers, the school age children and the adolescent teenagers. We talked about the 4 domains of child development: physical development, cognitive, emotional, and social development. And I kind of gave examples of each for the 4 domains for each stage. So what we were supposed to do for homework was we were supposed to take one of the stages and think of an activity to support your child using one of the domains. So one of the examples that I gave was cognitive development for the 0 to 2 stage. Nope. 2 to 5 years. 2 to 5 years. Toddler preschool is what I used. And so what I said was basically, I did a name that colors game with my grandson in the grocery store. So it was like we would go in like where the fruits and vegetables are, and then he would just name the colors, right? And he would repeat the colors if he didn't know it. And so we would also talk about like to name the fruit and name the vegetable. So that kind of helped with his language, his literacy, him to being able to know how to learn his colors. He's 3.5 now, so he was 2 at the time. So cognitive development, that was an exercise that we did. That was just an example. I'm gonna stop sharing. So for homework, you guys were supposed to pick one stage and pick one domain to see how you can use one of the domains for each stage. Okay? And so we're gonna go in breakout rooms. I think, how many people do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do 2. So it's gonna be 3 and 3. Okay. Are we good? Okay, I'm gonna assign manually. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you're gonna have about 2, 4, 6, maybe 6, 7 minutes for this exercise. And so we will see you in about 7 minutes. Okay? Let's see, open the rooms.
Can I give a reminder while you're doing that, Pam?
Yes. Yes, please. Wait, no. I think they all joined. Are you guys joining the rooms?
No.
Okay, go on, Tani.
I was going to say, please make sure that when you share that every person, that both people get an opportunity to share. Look at your time if you need to set your watch so that everyone has an opportunity to share their homework and their thoughts. Okay. Enjoy your conversations and your connections with each other.
Okay. Is everybody gone? Okay. One person is still here? Okay. Is everybody back? No. Is everybody back? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, everybody's back. Okay. All right. So we had group 1 and group 2. Okay. Doesn't matter. So who would like to go first and kind of talk about the homework assignment? Which age did you use or stage did you use? And what developmental stage did you use? Right, what age and what stage?
Hi everybody.
Hey.
I shared with my people um a an activity that I do if I notice that my 9-year-old son is having some undesirable behavior. So I've been doing things like this with him since he was 6. So this would be for 6 to 12-year-olds. And then it's the emotional, I know I want to call it emotional regulation, but whatever the emotional thing is. Anyway, so sometimes it's hard for kids to be bossed around by us all the time, which is actually what's happening when we're telling them to brush their teeth or do things that they don't want to do. Um, so I will say to my son, um, you know what I've been thinking? And I will tell him, I know sometimes it might be tricky to be told what to do all the time. So I'm thinking for the next 5 minutes, you get to tell me what to do. But there is limits. You cannot tell me to eat anything and you cannot tell me to buy anything because he's tried that. And I'm going to set my clock for 5 minutes and you are going to tell me to do anything you want me to do. But you better not tell me to bark like a dog. And then, of course, he's going to say, bark like a dog. So you set the timer and you're barking like a dog. And then he's going to, the kids are they're so into this and they're very ramped up and they'll, you know, tell you to flap your wings like an eagle. Or one time he told me to take a shower and I had just gotten out of the shower and I just did my hair and I just did not want to do it, but I took a shower anyway and I got a taste of what it feels like to be his age,
Mhm.
so you have to do whatever they say. But what happens is it builds this magic connection between you where your child understands that you see them and that
Yeah.
that life isn't always butterflies and rainbows all the time. And that role switching, it does something for your communication and your connection. Because I really believe that any misbehavior or undesirable behavior is a cry for help. And it's just, um, you're missing something, right? It's never the behavior that you see on the surface. It's always something deeper, like I miss my dad or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Um,
Yeah.
so this is just a way for you to get on your kid's level and kind of reset, and it works like magic each time that I do it.
That is awesome.
I love that, Nikki. I
I
love
do
that.
too. Mhm. That's great. Thank you. What stage was that?
6 to 12, the emotional, whichever the one. I
Oh,
can't-
okay. The emotional development. Okay, got you. Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to go? What age group and then what stage of child development?
Pam Braxton, well, people are considering and getting their stuff, getting ready to share. I, I would like to go back to Nikki's and I want to ask, does anyone see any other domains of development they saw in her example? Because Nikki, which one did you said it was social development, right? And I want to
Emotional, actually.
emotional.
Um,
Okay. All right. So I want to argue with you because I want to add more to it, but you can't tell me. Does anyone else see any other area, any domains? I think it's language, cognitive, motor skills, intellectual, and social emotional. I think those are the 4 domains.
Well, I have an example
Okay.
of so my cousin recently moved to a different state with his dad. So he originally lived in Atlanta Now he's living with his dad, and he's starting a new school,
Mhm.
and he typically goes up there for the summer.
Mhm.
So it's just him and his sister, him and his sister, him and his sister. Then he started school, and so he comes home and he tells his mom and stepmom and his dad, like, it's hard for me to find a best friend. And he's like, I'm trying to find friends, and some days are good, some days I play with blah blah blah. And then the next few days he ate lunch by himself. That that's what he says. I think he some of the things get misconstrued, but watching him really figure out, like, wow, like the friends that I had since I was 3, he's 7 now. He's been in the same school since whatever age you go to school. And, seeing him really struggle and it's also that I feel like also demographic plays a part too. He lives in Atlanta. Now he's in Boston, trying to find friends, trying to connect with people, trying to really engage with people, and also trying to find a line, because now he has a crush, and he's like, oh, I love her, and like his parents really like trying to say, well, I think you like her. I think and so like kind of find the gauge of, well, I think I like her because she's nice to me, not, I love her. And also they both have phones, and like trying to engage with that in the fact of, let me read these text messages, before you send them to another 7-year-old. So it's really interesting to see him really trying to find his footing in a totally different demographic, trying to find friends, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and kind of like hone in on his social development. Because it would be hard for me, I know it's
Yeah.
hard for him.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Yeah, when I moved to Atlanta, it was hard for me too. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was 27 when I was 27, and I was for 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I can just imagine for a
Right.
7-year-old.
Right.
Okay.
And I've been here all my life, and I have the same friends that I've had since 6th grade. I can't imagine not
Yeah.
kind of having that environment, but that's really real to a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think it's important as parents for us to really kind of notice that and really support our kids when we see that they may be having some challenges, like you said, with just kind of a new environment, a new place, and maybe having some challenges with it, and just being knowledgeable and just being a support to them to help them work through it. Okay, thank you so much, Gabrielle. We're gonna move on to our next activity. So I really want you all, though, to go back and look at those ages and stages in those 4 domains of child development. I think it's really important for you to make sure that you can kind of put those things together, and just if you have any questions, just let us know. We can help you work through that. Okay. So we're gonna go back to remember we talked about our personal vision, the 10-year, 3-year, 1-year, 3-month goal. We discussed the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, which are internal controls, and opportunities and threats are external control. We talked about here's the SWOT analysis. We talked about the SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. And we talked about the action goal statement. So mine was to improve my health by, I don't know, what's 3 months from now? July 26th or what, June 26th. I will lose 15 pounds by walking 1 mile 3 times a week, eating 3 servings of fruits and vegetables. drink 8 glasses of water. So that was my SMART goal, to be able to lose the 15 pounds. So when we talked about all that. But I want to share with you some homework that participants, other leaders have. So is Ashley Manning on today?
Yes.
Hey, Ashley. So you did the SWOT and the SMART goals. Which one you want to talk about?
We can do the SWATs.
I'm just gonna go back and forth. Which one you want?
SWAT is fine.
The SWOT? Okay, a SWOT. So tell me, what was your the 3-month goal?
Well, my 3-month goal is to tone and tighten my body.
Okay.
And so that's what this is based on.
Okay.
So my strengths are I'm resilient, I'm really tough. I can't even read all that right now. Oh, there it is. I'm
Focus.
focused.
I'll tell you. Oh, can you see it?
Oh, I can see
Okay.
it now. I'm focused, I'm
Okay.
mentally competent, and I have muscle memory because I'm a former athlete. However, my weaknesses is I just want this change now. I am someone who goes balls to the wall. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm going to go all the way real fast. But that makes it where I have these compounded injuries because I injured myself in the military. And so it makes these re-injuries, and it takes a little bit longer for me to, heal from those because I'm getting a little bit older, and it just my body's not the same. So my opportunities, I'm a veteran, and because I was injured, I get free physical therapy and chiropractic therapy. I don't go to see my chiropractor as much as I want. However, my physical therapist, brand new, awesome facility. I was there earlier and they kicked my behind. It's free 99. So I don't even have to use my insurance or, pay any copays.
Okay.
The staff is really dedicated. Um, and I really like before there was a slogan with with Biden, I was talking about build back better. So when he came out the slogan, I was like, man, people gonna think I copied him. But they're helping me build myself back better. And within reason, not me thinking I'm still that 18 or 25-year-old, but I'm a 41-year-old woman. And they're helping me reshape and rethink how I'm supposed to look and feel at this particular stage in my life. I'm having to learn greater patience because it's not an overnight situation. And then, of course, the opportunity is tone and tighten because these are athletes themselves. And they're giving me a lot of great tools to be able to do that while also strengthening my back. And then it's also giving me the momentum to get back into a regular regimen. So when I'm not at physical therapy, I rest that next day, but I'm able to start doing more physical activity at home versus me just kind of, here and there everywhere. I'm motivated. And I really don't have any threats because I have everything for me. There's really nothing against me.
Ashley, can I challenge you on the threats?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I wrote in the thing, thank you for your service, and I truly mean it. Thank you so much. And I want to say that threats are external things that we have no control over, right? And so you have a great understanding, of who you are, which is amazing, right? What you need and opportunities that are available that I would love to have. But a threat can be something that you don't have control over, just like aging, right? And so I love that you said in the beginning, you said you have muscle memory, because that's the one thing I'm hanging on to as a older athletic person myself, right? But a threat is when you get older, no matter how well in shape you are, your body just changes and things deteriorate, So age could be can be a threat. Not now, hope you're still young, but it can be, right? A threat could be something happening like not having transportation for a while, or like today the power went out in my neighborhood and I was so hungry I thought I was going to fall out, and I had an appointment, and so I had no control over that, so I had to spend extra money to get out of my neighborhood because of no power. Anyways, so threats are things that happen on the outside that we don't have control over. And I think because you realize you have a lot of opportunities, that's excellent. And just and I think it's important for us to remember the threats and not take them personally. So
Okay.
that's all. Thank you though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Ashley. That was great. And you have your SMART goals as well. Is Tynetta on? Tynetta sent her SMART goals. Tynetta, are you on? Okay, well, Tynetta did her homework. I just want to share. Thank you. Oh, wait, quickly, is Aaron, are you on? Aaron sent his homework and it looked like he was doing a dissertation. No, I'm just kidding. Let me pull up Aaron's. I gotta show it right quick. Oh, how do I get out of here? Hold on. Okay, where's
Netta put
Aaron?
in the chat that her mic is having issues.
Okay, all right, no problem. Wait, I'm trying to find oh, I had it up and now I can't find it. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, Aaron. I have to show yours. Just give me 1 second. It's here. Oh, I'm sorry, not Aaron, Danielle. Danielle, this is Danielle's homework. I apologize. Danielle, okay, let me see if I can share now. I found the homework.
You said it looked like a dissertation.
I mean, she did it so nicely. She did, can y'all see that? She did her
I
SWOT
did it. I
goal.
did it on my phone, so I couldn't do all the I couldn't use the chart.
Oh, and her SMART goal. I just loved it. Do you want to just quickly talk about one of them? Your SMART goal or your SWOT analysis, one of those?
Yeah, I could talk about my SWOT.
Let's talk about your SWOT. Okay.
So it's real life, preventing burnout at work. So just talked about the strength just being using the resources that I have. So like, like the EAP, like through my insurance and stuff like that. Like if they have like stress management courses and things like that that are free of charge because you have the insurance, like tapping into that, keeping a gratitude journal to keep me focused, and taking a break from additional tasks. And a weakness, lack of free time to focus on the stress management. So I have to find the time to actually do that. And then, first step, always owning up and admitting that there's actually a problem. And then unsupportive management, and then just being short-staffed. So it's kind of difficult to, alleviate some of those tasks if we don't have enough people to get things done. Opportunities, becoming happier and more motivated, better task outcomes and overall satisfaction just of the job. And then, staff retention, actually getting people in there and getting them to stay. And threats were, taking off work to handle this, but we're already short-staffed. So what does that look like? When I come back, the workload would increase while taking that time off. So it kind of discouraged from taking the time off to do what I need to do. And then also kind of being in it alone, management ignoring the fact that there's even a problem, to even assist with what's going on.
All right.
Mhm.
Great homework, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you all for sharing. Okay. Any questions before we move on? Is Pam back? No, she's not. Okay, so we're gonna move on
I'm
to
here.
the.
I'm here.
Are you here? Oh, there you go. Okay, I couldn't find you. Okay, so Pam is going to now talk about school transition. Any questions before we move on to the next segment? I know it's a lot of stuff we're talking about, but I just want to make sure you guys are okay. All right.
Okay. I'm gonna share with everybody. If you can look in your participant guide, I have that you should be looking at page. Let me see what this is. In session 5 on page 10, you should see a section that says school transition. And if you can kind of let me know that you are there.
I'll stop sharing so you can see.
If you can give me a thumbs up that everyone has found it. It says school, it should say school transition, and it should say child to child. Okay, thank you, Mercy. I see you've got your thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Danielle. Okay, wonderful. If you can put, if you can't do your emoji, if you can just put it in the chat if you found the section. Okay, great. We have a majority of people that found it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for responding. Thank you. Okay, so if we're thinking about school transition, this section, what we're going to talk about, oh, Nikki says on page 62 in your book, in your participant guide. I have 10 here, but mine is probably my trainer's manual. Thank you, Nikki, for clarifying. But we're going to talk about school transition. And when you think about school transition, we know that school transition, you probably have children that are in many different ages for school transition. But when you think about school transition, I want to think about a change that you had in your life. Something that happened that you had is about change and movement and the things that happen when you're moving from one environment to the next. And what we know about school transition, and I don't have enough time to really do an all-day workshop on school transition, that it's just not about just you going from one grade to the next. There are many things that happen in that space, and there's many things that happen for you as a parent as your child moves through the different grade levels. It's different for a child that may be coming to school for a kindergarten versus a child that may be in 3rd grade, or maybe a child that's in middle school. Just their homework itself is totally different, and your commitment as a parent is totally different on what you have committed to do for those different age groups. And I know as you was doing your homework last time, you kind of, and you guys were going through the ages and stages, you kind of noticed that. So if you look in your book, you're going to find out that there are 5 different ways in which we look at effective school transition. And everything has to be centered around the child. So if you look at on page 62, you'll see that there's a child-to-child connection. That is when, how do we help our children maybe make a friend before they get to the next classroom or before they get to a school. So does that child know another child in their environment, or that child becomes a mentor to another child? Sometimes we do things in school transition where a kindergartner may have a 4th grader that is a mentor in that school that will actually be their mentor like for a day, and actually take them around and make sure that they understand where the lunchroom is, where the bathroom is, where all these different kind of things is, and they have a friend at the school. And that can sometimes happen outside of that. If you look in your manual, you see that under the child to child, you see there's elementary. Here's some things that you can do in the elementary school to help your child transition. Here's some things in middle school you can do, and high school you can do. So we have 5 different levels. We have child to child, then you have child to school. And child to school, we do a lot of child to school. You do a lot of child to school where you may take your child to the next classroom. If you are in elementary school, you may go to a PTA meeting. They may talk about some things that's going to happen in the next grade level. But how many of you actually go to your child's school before the school year ends, before a PTA meeting, just to go up there to volunteer? Just to go up there to sit in the class, just to go up there and help out, just to go up there to see just what the school environment is like. Nikki, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just saying I do that.
Okay, you do that. That's wonderful, because first of all, that helps the teachers get to know you and you get to know your child, and not necessarily even in your child's class. How many of you go and volunteer in not in your child's class, but the next grade level your child is going to go to? That's very important, because all of our children are very different and they have different temperament. And I know for me, for my son was very, very active in school. And he couldn't be in a classroom with a teacher that was very structured, very, very structured, that made that didn't allow his creativity to kind of be sparked. And so I had to be very diligent and be a very good advocate for my child, because if not, then his activity would have been looked at as being in trouble, that he was a troubled child and he would get in trouble because he would speak his mind, he would do things like that. But that really was his creativity, his leadership. And so I had to make sure that he was in with a teacher that mirrored his type of energy and his structures. That's very important. That not only that you might be volunteering now, right now, your child's grade level currently, but what does the next grade level look like? Who will be the best teacher, or who will be the best environment for your child in the next session or the next iteration of where they're going? So that's an example of a family to school kind of activity that you have to be initiated about, intentional about doing that. For that, understanding what testing may be needed for your child before they get to the next grade level, or those kind of things like that. As you said, I do it. I'm heavy on being involved with the entire school. That's very good, because if you're involved with the school, another thing happens with, guess what? That means that the school is going to be involved with you, and anything happens with your child, or anything happens, they're gonna call you, and not only your child's teacher, but the other teachers or the other lunch lady or whoever, because they get to know you, they get to know your child, and plus of all, you get to know, and also you are part of the school environment that helps shape what happens there. So that's great that you're doing that, and that's another part of school transition. So if you look on the next page, you'll see we have school to school. In school to school, we have child to school, child to school, child to child, child to school. Then you have school to school. School to school is more for when the teachers are doing things together. When you see that the teachers in your one grade level is they're talking and communicating and sharing ideas across, so they can understand your child before your child gets there, or that they're understanding and collecting knowledge between each other of how to best help and support the child's academic journey. So that's what that school to school is about. And you see each one of these different components have an elementary, early learning elementary, elementary to middle, then they have a middle to high. And these are all different kind of strategies that can be used. The next thing is what we call school to community. How many of you guys know your child's maybe community partner? And a community partner could be an organization like United Way, or another that actually comes in and help your local church, or something else that comes in and helps and supports the school around your child's academic journey. Some of you may have to attend back to school events and things like that, but those are just minor things that can happen around the school to community kinds of things. But hopefully you are involved, and maybe you can help bring some things to your school from the community to help enhance your school and actually look at school transition. It could be, I know in some communities we have like local barbershops that when it gets time for school transition, that they have like reading corners in their library that help in their barbershops or beauty shops that help children learn how to read, and those things like that. And if they don't have that, as a parent leader, you can suggest some kind of things in your own local community that can help with the school transition of your child and the other children in your community, just by things that are done there, just by maybe just having a book corner. And like I said, in a beauty shop or a barber shop, that would be a school transition activity that's intentionally happening in the community. So that's just an example of that. The next one is, if you look at the last page, you see it says family to school, and those are the things that you're doing. Like you guys talking about, you're volunteering, you're going up, you're understanding what's happening at the school, understanding all the test scores, understanding the acronyms of the different things that happens between different grade levels. Because in the kindergarten, they're learning these sight words, but as your child moves in different kind of grade levels, their sight words and things like that change. So you want to make sure that you are abreast to all the different nuances that are the expectations for your child, where the best placement for your child, how's the best way for you to be involved, because maybe the best way for you to be involved in your school, volunteering your child's class, yes, is a great way, but another way it may be to actually invest and actually go to the next grade level, or volunteer in another kind of capacity, maybe in the library, where you get to see the real culture of the school and how does it flow and how does the staff interact and all those different kinds of things. But all of those touch points are very important, because those things actually mirror what your child will be experiencing, and you are in the know for a better transition for them, because really the transition is around the child. We're just there to support them and what they're doing. And if you look after the page with the family to school, you'll see that there's some other kind of information that is on school transition that you can read and go through. And it talks about the last page of this talks about school readiness and academic screenings. And it talks about all the different tests and acronyms and things like that your child will be experiencing as they move through the school system, and what you should be aware of. And if you're not aware of them, I would really challenge you to make sure that you understand what these are and the expectations of your child in these spaces around these tests, and going to different places, their child assessments, their readiness, their portfolios, and things like that, so that you can better explain and set your child up better for the best academic experience that they can have as they're moving through school. So if you can, I know I moved through this section pretty fast because we're on a timeline, but if you can just go through and find where your child may be and look at the different tips that are there on the school transition for those different categories, for where they may be from in elementary to middle or high school, then this will be very much help you as you move through your child's development and their academic journey. So thank you very much. Is there any questions or concerns that you would like to get me to expand on? If you need to reach out to me or Tani in more detail around this, then we'd be more than helpful to talk to you around it, or I'm willing to even talk to some school people, because sometimes we need to do that too.
Okay. Well, I went to Pam's class. She had a training with school transition. It was amazing. So this is some really good stuff, you guys, and it's in your book. If you got questions, we're always here. Okay. We're gonna move on. Oh, goodness. If you need to take a quick break or something, you can, because I know we are moving kind of quickly. It's okay. Okay, sharing the screen. Okay, so next, I think I'm next. Yep, circles of support. Circles of support is on page, I believe, 84 of your book. So with the circles of support, so every person needs some connection with people and places from which they can draw strength and support from. However, we find these things can be different for everyone and can vary at different times in our lives. So with this activity, you see here, here's the circle, here's you in the middle. And so we can ask, for example, what is your support regarding nature or culture and faith base? Who or what is your support, economics and work community? These are the different categories. Who or what is in regards to agency, schools and institutions, partner and children, extended family, friends and neighbors. Who are your circles of support? So one of the things for homework is you're going to complete your own circle of support by writing the names of specific people or groups from your life for each category. For example, for me, I said, for my circle of support, nature. I'm from Chicago, as you all know, so I love the lake. We used to go to the lakefront all the time, so I like water. So any type of lake or beach or anything, a park, I like the outdoors as far as the park, nature. So that's part of my support. Going to the lake or the beach, it gives me peace. I can relax. Culture and faith-based. meditation and prayer. I don't go to church like I used to, but I will watch it, stream it, right? Especially since COVID. So meditation and prayer, that is a support for me. Economics and work community, my coworkers, I have some really good dynamic coworkers. One is with us today, Gabrielle. Agency, schools and institutions. So Odyssey, where I work at, College Park Elementary is right down the street from Odyssey. Partners and children. So my husband, of course, I have 2 adult children and I have 2 grandchildren. And I have a sister and I have, nieces and nephews. So my parents, so good support system there. Extended family, cousins, in-laws, aunts, uncles, and then friends and neighbors as a support. I'm in a sorority social group. I'm in a high school group. We go on trips every year. So this is my circle of support. So for homework, what I want you to do is think about who or what is your circle of support. And then, of course, I'm going to ask you when we go over the activity next time, what protective factors do they relate to? Because everything is centered back around to the protective factors. Okay. Any questions on the circle of support? Sounds pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's going to be your homework. Okay. The next thing I'm going to talk about briefly are the 40 developmental assets. And it's on pages 86 to 97. And also let me see if I can find them, because I think in the book they may be a little blurry. Down here, am I still sharing? Wait, hold on. Okay, down here, link. If you want, I can put it in chat. This link right here is where you can also see these 40 developmental assets. I'll put that in the chat for you. So basically, let me see if I can pull them up. I will go to this link. And they're in your book if you want to look at on page 86 to 97. When you share and don't share and back, there's a lot of stuff that be going on back here. Okay. Let's paste. Okay, let me see if I can pull these up for you. Right quick. Okay, here we go. Okay. So these are the 40 developmental assets, and it goes by those different stages. So, here's ages, early childhood, 3 to 5, 5 to 9, 8 to 12, 12 to 18. Okay, so basically these are the building blocks for healthy development that have been identified. They've done research, the Search Institute, as it says here. And the assets cover 4 age ranges, which what I just said. So these assets are sets of skills, experiences, relationships, and behaviors that help form successful contributing adults. So you see here support, right? Positive family communication. This is under support, family support, caring neighbors. Developmental assets ages 3 to 5 for support, empowerment, boundaries and expectations, constructive use of time, commitment to learning, positive values. So these are the external assets. Here are the internal assets, ages 3 to 5, commitment to learning, positive values, social competencies, and positive identities. So the more developmental assets required, the better children and youth do in school and contributing to their community. The more assets that a child has, the better they are in school and in contributing to their community. So here's ages 5 to 9. Again, support, empowerment, boundaries and expectations, constructive use of time. So these are the external assets for children grades K through third grade, K through 3. Again, commitment to learning, positive values, social competencies, positive identity. These are internal assets. These are the same for ages 8 to 12 and 12 to 18. So, what I would like for you to do for homework is to read through these. And, we come back, we can have a discussion. Which developmental asset do you feel like your child has? You can pick out a few and we can have a discussion about it for next time. Any questions? This is a lot of information too, but this is some good information. And it's in your book. Questions?
Pam.
Yes, Tiny, please. Tiny, I'm telling you. Come on, Tiny.
I was going to add to this is a great way for a parent, and this is if you really are open as a parent to assessment, because one of our United Way colleagues, one of the things that she does is she allows her daughter, who's an adult now, she allows her, or both of her children, to give her a grade on her parenting, which I personally, I don't know if my heart could take it. All right. So I said that to say that if you are open to some feedback from your children, this is a great tool to use. So instead of going and say, oh, my child got this, he got that, he got this, it would be a great opportunity to sit down with your child and say, and ask them which ones do they believe they have and how they view their development. They don't need to hear about the Search Institute studies, right? You could just, it could be a great, Sunday afternoon activity to do together. But I encourage you, if you are doing this for about your child, that your child be a part of the discussion, and that also there could be no punitive, or you can't give them a whooping or get mad at them. Well, we shouldn't give whoopings anyways, that's a whole nother story. But they should not get in trouble because you don't agree with them. But this is an opportunity for you to hear about how your child feels about their development and what their capabilities are and what their community and their support looks like.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Tiny. Okay, any questions on the 40 developmental assets? And this also is in your book. All right. So I think now Tiny is up with power. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we talked about okay, so yeah, Tiny, you're up next. Power relationships.
Let me tell you, I love how you and Gabrielle kicked this session off, right? And we talked a lot about personal power. I was like, dang, I got reflective on you guys. It made me think about me. And so before I share with you my power story, I will say that one of the biggest shifts that has come from, and I appreciate you, Pam, allowing me to be able to facilitate this segment, is because it has allowed for me to think differently. Way differently. So before I say, well, Pam Braxton always makes me do stuff. And then Pam Ross, she never gives me food when I want it. And Gabrielle, she will not do the slides like I want them to, and I have no power. Now, I haven't told any of them how I feel or anything like that. But so I was giving my power away. I think you read the quote at the beginning, Pam, about having power. Right. And so one of my biggest gifts from going through the FFL program several times with many different participants is realizing that I have personal power over my life, and I have to figure out how to use that, how to utilize it, And so I want to talk to you a bit about power. And so this is called power positions. We have power on, like Pam Braxton, I am telling you now, you better turn your lights back on and then turn your camera off and hold your left arm up in the air, right? So I'm using power on because I am in charge because I'm speaking. That's power on. And then power with is, Gabrielle, can we think of a way to do the slideshows and incorporate some purple in them, because purple is my color and it makes me feel better. Is there any way that you can think of that we can do this together? That's power with, because I'm asking for her assistance. I'm telling her what I need, and then we're going to have a conversation on what can be most helpful. That's power with, right? Or do you have any suggestions, Gabrielle, how I can be a better presenter? So I am acknowledging I'm the presenter right now, but I need her assistance. So that could be an example of power with. So I'm going to share with you guys my biggest power story, and I'm still this is my personal power story, and I'm still reaping the benefits of power. So when I my last few years of working with in a local school system in Atlanta area, I worked with teen parents for 3 years, and so I was a teen parent when I was in high school. So this is, you know, it wasn't just my job, just as my job I love, but it was very personal. So my students would come to me and say, "Oh, my teacher, Miss Ross, she wouldn't give me my homework, and she made a sly statement about about me having a child. Oh, Pam Ross is in trouble. Tony's on this keyboard. I'm sending Miss Ross all kind of the nastiest email I could send without cuss words, right? You know, I'm calling principals. I was just on fire every time every one of my students told me whenever an adult said or did something that I deemed inappropriate. So that is an example of power on. All they had to do was tell me, you know, and Big Tony, she was like, shots fired, bang, 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 bang. Everyone's going down. Well, so I decided to use my power and have power with. And so this is shared power. And my power with was, I decided, you know what? One day I'm not going to be there to do shots fired at everyone. Maybe they need to learn how to use their own personal power. And how we did that was through documentation. I told them, when you send an email, whenever you have an issue, I want you to send an email. And I taught them what CC means, carbon copy an email, and BCC, blind carbon copy, and how to use it. I told them, whenever you send an email, you're going to carbon copy me. At that time, I worked for county office in the school system, and put your parents' email, their name in there, and then my name. And anyways, I taught them how to do carbon copy, CC and BCC, and to use my name with every email. Let me tell you the results that these young women started getting, because they were documenting what was going on, and we talked about appropriate things to say in the email. They were getting appropriate responses. Sometimes they would even CC their counselor or their principal. That also informed the teenage parent. It involved their parents in a way that the parents knew what was going on, but they didn't have to send the email, right? So that all of a sudden the teenager was in power of her own education and making sure she got things. Now these young women, my babies, I'm still in touch with quite a few of them. They now have children in middle school and some in high school. And you know what they do? They talk to me about sending emails and documenting their conversations with their child's teacher. Oh my gosh, you guys, like every time one of my students says something to me, it just, you can't even imagine the joy. So because I made a decision to share my power and make sure that they were knowledgeable of how to advocate for themselves, and that they have the power, they can write an email just like me, and to understand what it meant to document something. So now these young women are in their 30s and still using this lesson, and now they're utilizing it with their own children. So that is my power story. And I want you guys to think about our decisions that we make every day with our children about power on and power with, whether it's as simple as, what are you going to wear to school today? You know, or no, this is what you will wear to school today. What are you going to eat for dinner? What will we cook? To what classes are you going to take? What are you going to major in? Those types of things. And think about power, and maybe how it felt when someone had power over us, or how someone shared their power with us and how that made us feel. So Pam, can I want to, time. Oh, we are close to end their time. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for listening. And briefly, does anyone have any power story, complaint that they, a power situation they'd like to share? You can unmic yourself or you could throw it in the chat as well. All right. Well, I'm gonna give you guys a break because you heard a whole bunch of stuff today. And I want to thank you for being tuned in and thank you for coming today. I'm going to hand the mic back over to Pam Braxton and Gabrielle.
Thank you so much, Tiny. Thank you for that power story activity. All right, so we're gonna do our door prize. I'm gonna stop sharing so that Gabrielle can do our door prize.
All righty, what we've all been waiting for. Mercy
Congratulations, Mercy.
is week 5 winner.
All right. Congratulations. Okay. All right. Okay, so all right, homework assignment. Complete your circle of support for your 3-month SMART goal. Think about your power relationships and how you're using your shared power. And review those developmental assets that we talked about and determine what assets are in place for your child. But I kind of like what Tiny said, to kind of sit down with your child, to have a discussion with them, in regards to their development. I think that'll be a really good family activity. And again, bring your favorite quote. All right, so is there anything else you'd like to discuss? Is there anything you need some clarification on, or any information, or in these -1 minute we got? Is there anything that you need help with? You can always email me or send me something through the Remind app. Okay. So how you guys are feeling? Just you could do a reaction button or put it in the chat or say it out loud as far as describing how you're feeling regarding today's session. Okay. Thank you. Ashley says she feels good. I'm pulling up the session 5. That's the feedback survey. Okay, anybody else? Oh yeah. Good. Mercy, motivated, rejuvenate. Oh, thank you, Tiny. Anybody else you want to share what you're feeling, what you're thinking? We only got 4 more sessions. Okay. Feedback survey 5 is in the chat if you want to do it now. If not, I'll send it out to you tomorrow. Pam says, have a great spring break. Odyssey leaders, love on yourself, make family memories. I love that. Yeah, right. Okay. If there's nothing else, if you haven't done feedback survey 4, please do that. And one more thing, let me say, I just need a minute. We need everybody's attendance and participation, right? In order to give you the incentives, we have to collect these surveys. That's how we get paid. That's how we're able to give you the surveys. I mean, that's just real talk. So anyone who attends all the sessions, complete all the surveys, will get an extra incentive at the end of the modules at your graduation in June. If you've missed a day, let me know so I can send you the videos and so you can complete the surveys to get credit. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have. Anything that Pam, Tiny, Gabrielle,